Namaste, big cat. Welcome back to Frequency Phoenix 555 for your message or massages. Come in, come on. I've got intel. Recon is afoot. Are you fabulous, gorgeous, and lovely, bestie? Are you good? Well, if you're not, keep it to yourself. Tell no one but God. God will forgive you if you are in forgiveness mode. Because guess what, bestie? Oi, can we have a quick chat before we get into the read? As we sip our mochas, because we ain't getting smoked. Not today or any other day. There's a D in it. Guess what, bestie? Guess what? Your enemies are enemy in themselves, darling. There's no rest for the wicked. They are out enemy in themselves. Imagine that. Ha ha! Why are they doing this? These are enemies that you know and that you don't know, darling dears. Because why? The monitoring spirits, the gang stalkers, all of the above, darling dears, is on your case like white on rice. Why? Because you chose distance over disrespect. When you aborted the wrong mission, you have understood the assignment. You chose silence over drama.com, darling dears. Many people can't do that. They can't. They always have to go and explain. How can you explain yourself to the feeble-minded that's already made up their mind in believing what they want to believe about you? Rock bottom is when you changed and became the prototype, darling dears. If you think the price of winning is too high, darling dears, just imagine the L's that your what? Enemies that are enemy in themselves would love you to take. Remember, there's nothing like waiting until you get the bill of regret. Regret of not what? Completing what you wanted to complete in this lifetime due to other people's opinions who were really just your enemies, darling dears. With regular faces like a face of a friend, a lover, a parent, a sibling, a cousin, a co-worker, a neighbor. Listen, they're in the multitude. When the going gets tough, the tough become a big cat, darling dears. There's nothing else you'd rather be. You understood the assignment when you believed it, conceived it, so therefore you achieve it, darling dears. And they're mad. They're upset. They expected you to falter and fail. They expected the last massive failure that you had in your life, darling dears. Mistake it could have been on your behalf, darling dears. But they didn't expect you to get back up. This is why they are enemy in themselves. Statements of slander, these merchants, yes baby, merchants of slander, Jeremiah 9:40 have put out about you this and that. It doesn't hold water. Your name is constantly in their mouth. And every one of your accolades and achievements is on their mind, darling. They're weighing them down. They're unable to eat or sleep. They can't rest, darling dears, because they're waiting for you to fail. They should all do us all a favor by holding their breath, darling dears. Not because you're advocating any form of violence, but why? Tell them to hold their breath. Well, someone better tell them. Why? Your season 2 is on its way. If they was enemy in themselves, they found. Hey, listen. Let's dive in, darling dears. Just lead with the dice. Yeah. And you have an enemy that wants to communicate with you, darling dears. We have the energy of the 4. It could be by email, text message. You have someone or something new coming into your life, darling dears, which is going to have a major effect. The energy of the 4 could also speak about a love affair about to kick off, darling dears. Remember, I told you, no one gets into your good without you doing the full recon, darling dears. Otherwise, you'll end up what? Getting it without the Vaseline. The energy of the 1 is about you evaluating everything, even your thoughts around the situation. It's also a reminder not to make any major decisions until after the next new moon, which is going to be in Sagittarius, and it's on the 12th of December. A new beginning, darling dears. This is the energy of a 5. Your birthday could be the 5th, the 14th, or the 23rd, or this is a significant date in your life. You are a free spirit, darling dears. It may not be the best of times for you right now, but your enemy doesn't know it. They think you're doing great. At this moment in time, you're walking on water, and they're saying it's because the bitch can't swim. Listen, I just come with the messages, right? Whatever you're going through, darling dears, keep going, because this phase is about to be over. The numbers 1, 5, and 7 will be important to you over the next few days, as well as Friday and Sunday being your luckiest days. Avoid the numbers 2, 4, and 6. The letters E, N, and W will have some significance to you, darling dears. The energy of a 1, 5, even if you look at the dice meaning, darling dears, it means a proposal. A love affair, or it could be some kind of social gathering where you're going to meet somebody who's going to be significant. Something they say or do or them themselves will have a profound effect on your life. But like I said, you don't give up the good. When you meet anyone, all of your orifices are sealed except for your ears, blood. Your ears and your eye chakras, they're open wide. Listen, full attention mode. Why? You are bartering with the most precious thing you have, which is you, darling dears. You are unique. There is no one like you, and no one else is going to be like you ever again. Remember, I told you that. The energy of the 5 is the Hierophant in Tarot, darling dears, Taurus energy. It's about your values, your self-worth, things that you hold as a priority in your life, your income, darling dears, as well as your investments. It also speaks about this constructive freedom that you've created for yourself, darling dears, this true change, because you had to be versatile in the face of adversity. You became an explorer, Dora the Explorer. If you have travel plans, they will be going smoothly over the next few days. The number 5 is ruled by Mercury as well as Neptune. Mercury is about communication, it's about the self, it's about travel, short distances you will be journeying. And Neptune, Pisces energy, the 12th house, the house of hidden enemies, darling dears, but it's also the house of spiritual breakthrough. Listening to your intuition, darling dears. You're going to be hearing of somebody having some form of confinement, whether it's in a hospital or a prison, darling dear. Some of you are getting more into your occult practices, the unknown. You could be learning your birth natal chart, numerology, astrology, darling dears. Yes, all of the above, tarot, whatever it is. New ways of doing. Maybe you're looking forward to the new moon in Sagittarius to set your intentions. That is what a new moon is for. And Sagittarius, it's about expansion. It's about travel. It's about philosophy, darling dears. This is about broadening your horizons, opening up your mind to new things, new intel. And this 5 is also conflict, darling dears. You're about to have some kind of issue within the home. And again, wisdom is for the wise. Remember, I told you that. Proverbs 13:20. Not every argument or battle must you attend. And you have to read the room, especially if it's amongst your immediate family that you live with on a daily basis, darling dears. You have to be the change. You have to be the bigger person. Remember, I told you that. The Hierophant also speaks about some kind of ceremony. Somebody's going to be receiving some kind of certificate, some kind of accolade. It could also be a promotion at work. For others, this is like you will be meeting your significant other, your true divinely guided partner. Remember, I told you that. Be on the alert and on the lookout, but don't look too hard. For others, you're going into formal training. Higher education could be religious or spiritual studies. The Hierophant energy rules the neck and the throat, darling dears. You may have an issue around that. Because Taurus is ruled by Venus, okay? And Venus rules the face, the lips, the lungs, the nose, the face, darling, the whole face. But it's about your skills. You are in attracting mode, and as I said, you could be attracting marriage, true love, or romance. But you're finding that you have the love of the arts, or the way you deliver things is in an art form, darling dears. You are unique, as I said. This is about you getting what you truly desire. All right. So your enemies are enemy themselves, are they? Let's see. Let's go with this deck. I haven't used it in a while. A manipulated manipulator, right? That must be kept outside of your perimeter. Let's split the deck. Yeah. And they need help, darling dear. Nothing like what? An enemy that needs help and they're not getting it. They need to go and get the help from a psychiatrist, psychologist, or an exorcist. And they need certification, darling dear, and possibly even video evidence. The enemies are enemy in themselves. Wine and dine, darling dear. Yeah. They will wine and dine you just to break your heart. They'll have what? They'll be an avid listener, soaking up all of your intel, darling dears, to use against you. You are in what? Rebirth. New you phase, right? Continue to dream big. Somebody's heartbroken over the fact that you've got big dreams, or maybe you are enacting said big dreams, and they have to be what? Like they're at the garden fence, darling dear. They have to peep. All these different online personalities. This is an adventure for you, darling dears. An adventure could be a worldwide adventure, or this new living, this new rebirth of you, your new way of thinking and doing things, darling dears. Wine and dine. Somebody's going to be wined and dined, darling dear. But this is the wine and dine that comes after heartbreak, because you've rebirthed yourself. You're not going into it with any baggage. Your enemies ain't going to like that, darling dear, because they're all liars. Truth seeker in the reverse. And look, I told you they're watching. They're watching, darling dears, and they're enemy in themselves. Hey, hey! Good for them. That's their business. We've got grape, darling dear. Be careful of these people that want to wine and dine you and drop a little something in your drink. Next thing you know, all sorts of bad things have happened to you. Or you may not even come back. In the reverse, my body, my rules, my decisions, darling dears. Even if you meet somebody at a gathering and they offer to get you a drink, listen, you better be lickety-split. I'll walk you to the bar. You don't want no one dropping nothing in your drink. You don't know what they're mixing. You don't know what their intention is. You don't know this person. Good job. Yeah. Because they come with what? An STD. Not just in the what pantaloon, darling dear. A sexually transmitted demon is on them. And they see you as something to do. Remember I told you that? Whoa. They see a big cat as something to do, eh? Hey, hey, they will rule the day. They dare underestimate you. Why? Because of self-love. You love yourself. What else do we need to know about these enemies that are enemy in themselves? They don't like that you've changed, darling dears. It's a water sign, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, you or them, right? They're looking for a nurse with a purse. They want a handout. Listen, right? You might meet a partner, darling dears. Might be of age, might appear to have everything going on, but you haven't seen their medical records. They've got issues going on, darling dears. They're looking for a nurse with a purse, and you've got your own home, car, career, whatever you got going on, darling dear, because it's abundant. Why? Because you're a big cat. And when you believe in the unseen, step without seeing the stair. It's always provided for you. Why? The universe is infinite, darling dears. Ask and it shall be given. Knock and it shall be opened. Right? Best friend got a better friend. Listen, whoever that friend is, right, you need to drop them off too. Sweet, not every friend is there as a friend. As I said, some are monitoring spirits, some are gang stalkers, some envy or everything, right? And look, STD fell out twice. They've got sexually transmitted demons, darling dears. And those demons are going to town on them. Why? Because they're enemy in themselves. 444 on the counter. It means that you are protected. It's also what? Motivation for you to keep going. Don't look back. Remember Lot's wife, Salt Bay. You got an STD. What's this? You're protected, darling dears. You've got a security camera, sage, condoms, a bodyguard, a dog, and self-defense. And it's a karmic soulmate. All right. Karmic soulmate does not necessarily mean it's going to be what? A partner that you're actually in a love relationship with, a physical, intimate relationship with. A karmic soulmate could be a friend, a co-worker, a neighbor, even your own progeny, a sibling, a parent, a grandparent. There are lots of them, darling dears. There's lots of them. They're like cockroaches, darling dears. They scatter when the true light of your intellect and what spiritual grace shines on them. They expected you to falter and fail. You was going to be what? The butt of all of their jokes. For air, darling dears, for air. But who's laughing now, bestie? Who's laughing now? This and that. Let's carry on. Let's get an oracle deck. I'm going to use the life lesson deck. Oracle ancestral message to the big cats. Venus itself is represented by letters U, V, and W. So you've got U, V, W, E, N, and W. W is very prevalent. It's important, darling. There's a lot of cards. Wasn't ready for it. Thank you. Yeah, you're going to teach them a lesson, darling. There's some of you may even be teachers, or you're going to be taking your final formal examination for your teaching certificate, darling. You may even be teaching online, but you are definitely going to be teaching a lesson. They are going to be what? Eyes open, mouth shut. You inspire young people to learn. You'll inspire another big cat. Remember, your story is a survival kit for another cat. But as a teacher, you must always be a student of life, learning something new every day, darling dears. And the best thing you can learn is about thyself. This is why the birth natal chart is so important. You find out about aspects of yourself that you didn't know. You was getting your opinion from people that didn't think well of you, darling dears. People that didn't want you to excel and fly. Yes, you're a flying cat. You're ibex. If there's a crack, you don't fall back. You are teaching many a lesson, darling dears. A whole group of people. As all eyes are on your throne. Some of you may even be using crystals, darling dears. Amethyst is to clear out your heart chakra, and it's for protection as well. But you may also be using your black obsidian crystal or black tourmaline, darling dears, to protect thyself. If you've got a mirror in your boudoir, put it near your mirror, darling dears. Mirrors are portals. Your connection to crystals and gemstones is a channel for healing energy. At this moment in time, as you can see, I'm back on my Moldavite. Listen, after being in contact with people that I thought I'd never see again as long as I was a cat. Right? And where we are, back in that same situation, seeing these same said people again. This is what I'm saying. It's like you are going to be given tests, darling dears. Tests. You'll be sent back into the hemisphere to see if you've learned the lesson. You've learned that getting effed over is not your go-to move. This is why your enemy are enemy themselves. They don't know how to, they can't outthink you. They can't outsmart you. They can't outwork you, darling dears. You are innovative, darling dears. And you excel at whatever you put your passions towards. This is why they're big mad. This is why they're enemy in themselves. Yeah. Crystal healing, darling dears. I'm seeing a lot of yellow here. This is about your solar plexus. This is about your self-esteem, your willpower, your energy, and your drive. They don't like it. They expected you to be like them. Well, you're not. You were always built different, darling dears. Always. This is why they took pleasure in picking on you, especially if you knew who these enemies were, right? They picked on you. Anything you said was taken as fodder on the wind, darling dear. Fodder on the wind. The Moldavite crystal works on your crown chakra, your third eye, and your heart chakra. Don't mess with the Moldavite, darling dears. right? Because I'm telling you, hey, good child. It will open up every wound that you have to heal, and you have to face it. You are more than a conqueror, big cat. You are built for this. Teaching them all lessons, eh? Yeah, environmentalists. They took your shiznai on the street, darling dears. Yes, they did. You also get healing and grounding from being in nature or around a body of water. You're an earth angel who was born to protect, nurture, and teach about nature and the animals. Well, guess what? You know that nature of these animals, darling dears, it never gets any better. They've got look, 2 double cards, double, duo, 2 of them. Sexually transmitted demons on them, darling dear. Their auric field is not protected. Why? They're too busy focusing on you. They're measuring their success by what you are achieving for yourself as you mind your own business. You are the CEO of minding your own business. Matter of fact, you're hiring. No, we ain't telling them nothing. We use communicative dance of love and light. That's 2 of these and 1 of those. Outrageous, I know, darling dears. Let's get there. Face of your... Look, I can't make it up. 5 of Swords. They're talking about you. They're gossiping, darling dears. And then they're looking to see if you're hurt. And it also speaks about them ignoring you. Right? They're as though them ignoring you is going to hurt you. That's the best freedom you ever had. They're not in your frequency. This is petty arguments, gossip, slander, all of the above is being directed at you. They are enemy in themselves. When you send out bad, what you gonna get back? Bad. I keep telling people this, but they don't listen. It's boomerang season. Proverbs 21:18. Now it's got me sucking my 31 teeth, and you know how I feel about that, bestie. I don't feel very well about that. This karmic soulmate. A water sign is looking for a nurse with a purse. Nothing like a what? Hobosexual, that's H-O-B-O, right? To fall in love at the drop of a hat, right? Just to get themselves secured in someone else's domicile so they can wreak havoc and take their hairline. They're enemy in themselves, guys. Yeah. But your mind is free and clear. It's not your battle to fight, darling dears. Some of you have had to physically move, or you've moved on across the globe to get away from these people. But you remember, you have to move freely with a clear mind. Swords energy. You've had clarity in the situation. You were slow to leave the situation because a lot of these enemies that are enemy in themselves, you expected them to be in your hemisphere forever, but this is a transition for you. You're not hiding your feelings. Your feelings have disappeared. But this is also what? A card that reminds you of an invitation. You're going to get an invitation, darling dears. Clarify the 5 of Swords. Yeah. You have to move on from the toxic situations that was temporary. It was temporary. Look, down low. It could have been someone on the down low. And not that doesn't necessarily mean that they're doing genitalia watusi. They're low down dirty dogs. Yes. A dog always eats its vomit, and a fool returns to its folly. Proverbs 26:11. They're in their folly, mate. You're out and clear, free and clear from the situation. Queen of Wands, plan, plotting and strategizing and moving forward. You don't look like what you've been through. You're highly intuitive, darling dears. You may even be a tarot reader. There's a lot of talk about what you're doing, darling dears. They're telling, oh gosh, they're giving their 10 cents to anyone that will listen, but it still can't make a pound note. They don't like the fact that you rebirthed yourself, right? You had no choice but to make a plan for your betterment, and you do not, I repeat, do not look like what you've been through. The Queen of Wands is a natural born leader. This is about you losing. What's losing? Freudian slip meant to come out, darling dear. Somebody's losing. Yeah, they're losing, blood. They're lost. You use your intuition and discernment, darling dears, to think your way out of a situation that you never thought you'd have to let go. Be proud of the plans you've made, darling dears. Be proud of whatever studies. And again, this is pointing to occult studies. This is a tarot reader, a tarot oracle, intuitive reader. You could even be a medium, darling dear, psychic medium. clarify the Six of Swords, please. Get protection, darling, dear. Yeah, your manifest mode, but it also, the Magician again speaks about enemies. Magician also represents Gemini energy. Gemini, the third house, is the house of siblings, cousins, uncles and aunts, distant relatives. Yeah, they are still what? Putting their mouth on you. That gingivitis mouth, that slash they dare call a mouth. Yeah, outrageous. It's because you're happy, darling. They're seeing that you are emotionally fulfilled and they would like to come and muddy your waters. Right? This toxic person or people. Yeah. And they're going broke. This is mental issues, darling. If they got a partner, they're partnering with the devil's most diligent worker. But it also speaks about jealousy, darling dears. Jealous of who you are, what you've created for yourself, darling dear, by the sweat of your proverbial balls. Yeah, you're thinking clearly. They know they can't come back, darling dears, if you know this enemy, right? Yeah. Meek and mild, darling dear. You're relaxed. You're cool hand Luke at this moment in time. Six of Wands, darling dears. It's about the confidence in you. You're achieving things. You've got some kind of recognition. Some of you may even have a platform, darling dears. They don't like it, right? And with the Five of Wands in the reverse, you make everything look effortless and easy. Law number what? 30 of the 48 laws of power. Yeah. You're making your life look easy, which is making them very uneasy, right? Lots of negative energy and lots of things were said. Something was done at night time, darling dears, and it ended a situation between you and them. Yeah, they did something at night time. A specific enemy that's an enemy in themselves. Look, you had to isolate yourself from that situation, right? Go within. Because all answers are within. You have to go within, darling dear. Hermit energy, but you have to find out about yourself. This is about being betrayed in situations that there was no healing, right? Bringing up things from the past. You've got an issue with your father. Was he an absentee father? Yeah, no justice, injustice in a situation. No happiness. You ended a marriage because it wasn't successful. You didn't feel protected there, darling dears. If you were sleeping with someone, it was the enemy, and this was what? A penniless page. Yeah, this is why your enemies are enemying, right? And they're lying. You may have as much as 2 progeny involved in this situation. Let's get some more intel. So why are your enemies enemying? They're very upset, darling dears, because you are achieving for yourself, by yourself. Why won't they let it go, Queen of Swords? Because you said what you said in my Nene Leak's voice. You said what you said. You cut off a situation, right? In some cases, somebody can't get your seat of Emperors and Empresses again, darling. There's not by the hair of your chinny chin chin. Your flesh will crawl, right? It also speaks about lies, darling dears. And it also speaks about the defense of some kind of what? Spiritual attack that was sent your way. Queen of Swords, highly spiritual, darling dears. Some of you have been under spiritual warfare because these enemies are enemy in themselves. They've got so much hate, envy, and jealousy, wickedness, wicked intent. But this is about you mastering your emotions, darling dears. 2 queens on the tableau speaks about lots of gossip, darling dear, going down. And they're not saying nice things. Even God is boxing his ears. Hey! Yeah. You cut them out. It's because you are not putting up with it. You are an earth angel and you were sent to balance out the situation for those that are around you. And what did they do? Lie on you, argue with you. In some cases, they even fought you, darling dears. Put their hands on you, gave you a 2-piece, and not for Christmas. And now they're sorry. Because loyalty like you only comes around once in a lifetime. You thinking clearly about the situation. You're not allowing this to bring you down. No more compassion, darling dear. No more nurturing, right? You're putting that nurturing back into yourself. This is why you're getting great. You learn to protect yourself. And if you don't know any self-defense, go and watch my Don't Get Smoked video where I teach you light kung fu and self-defense. It's because you have a new car, darling. There's a new career. You've got success on you like white on rice. They don't like it. Yeah, and your tongue. You get no S, darling dears. Spiritually strong as well. And avoiding the drama of them. They, them, and Yeah, somebody from the past would love to come back, darling dears. But this is like somebody coming back from the pet cemetery. You know the body, but the inside is black-hearted enemy. They are soulless. Yeah, and you know it. King of Swords to the Queen of Swords. You have someone who is like-minded coming towards you, darling dear. Someone who is like-minded, similar experiences. This speaks about the beginning of a love affair. Yeah, something new is going to be birthed. New beginning, darling dear. King and Queen of Swords. This is people that are highly cerebral, people that's been through the wounds of life and still come out on top. And again, I can't make it up. Some of them are going to be big mad about this union. Let's see about this union. Why they're enemy in themselves. That you're going to take a leap of faith. But don't leap too hard, darling dears. Become a keyboard gangster. I don't care who it is. They may be holding Jesus and Buddha's hand. They may even have the Holy Grail, right? With somewhat fizzy water in it for you to drink. You still have to research them. What about this union that's going to have the enemies out enemy in themselves, right? Because it's blessed, darling dears. This is a ring-bearing card. Possibly going into a long-term situation. It could also be a business. Somebody's in a legal, works in a legal field, civil service, civil servant, government job. Yeah. Listen, you come out of lack, darling dears. Like I said, they expected you to fade away. To fade away. These enemies had a hold of your psychological password. Look, I can't make it up. When you used to care about what they thought about you, could give a... Listen, you could care about what somebody else thinks. Listen, you were always highly intelligent, darling dears. You was not meant to fit into this situation. All they did was talk about you and bring you down. You felt the energy when you went around them. Why? Because you're an earth angel. And you will feel the energy when you are in the presence of an enemy. Remember, I told you that. This is why Big Cat, what? Stretches open their eye chakras, buffs up their third eye to a bitchin' shine, and what? Unclogs their ears. Pay attention, darling dears. Pay attention. They're not going to like this union that you're going into. It's going to stress them. They're going to go into what? Overdrive. Enemy in themselves. Look! Hey, hey! This was a painful situation, one that you thought you couldn't get away from. But you've healed from that, darling dears. Taken a healing from the universe. So it's a you versus them. Yeah, there was a lot of injustices. And it could also speak about legal action that you had to take in the face of what? This was it, defamation of character? Yeah, defamation of character. Hey, hey! Yeah, take them to court, darling dears. And if you think that you're not going to win a civil court, criminal court, go to civil court. Cassie did. She got her settlement before 24 hours, darling dears. Especially as the King or Queen of Swords, you have the intel. You've done the recon. You have the proof. Pinkies up. Yeah. This person from the past. Yeah. You've released the burden of them, darling dears. How do they feel about being released? They feel let go, darling dears. They don't have no influence over you. They can't control you, darling dears. They used to control your mind. Then you realize that in your mind you're free. This is where you're able to plan your next move in Silencio. I told you, season 2 is coming. They ain't seen nothing yet. You used to be trapped by their words, right? Words that they took to many. It was affecting your mental health and your ability to what? Attract and manifest abundance in your life. Look at how your life was when you was amongst the wicked to how it is now. You have that big P. What's that? Peace, darling dear, which can't be bought or bartered. When you have peace, darling dear, mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual, you are in what? Tip-top manifestation mode. Master manifester. Yeah. Taking a leap of faith in a new direction, a new beginning for you. You have an older partner approaching you. He's going to offer on a date. Don't go with this one, darling dears. Listen to your intuition. You're not a flower to be plucked, you're a prize to be won, right? Because new things, all new, everything is what you want. There's a sudden change coming towards you, darling dears. What's the sudden change? Listen. You don't listen. You can't be sudden. You've got no emotions to offer anyone from the past that is out enemy in themselves. Yeah. And it also speaks of mother energy, a sister, a cousin, someone in particular, female energy, darling dears, who's blocked. Hey. Yeah. They don't like you, darling dears. This female energy. Let's get some more intel about this person. This female energy. She has progeny, but she's not a very good mother, darling dears. That baby had to bite off their umbilical cord and hit the ground running, darling dears. Had to come in with a plan. 555 on the counter. A quantum change is in your hemisphere, darling dears. Embrace this shift, right? Because more opportunities are about to open up for you. They ain't seen nothing yet. What about this female energy? Let's get some more information about the name, the letters. We have a 6, darling dears. The 6 is represented by FOX, right? The letters F, O, and X. So this person is sly, slick of tongue, darling dears. And they manage to extract themselves from what? Any kind of fucking needs. Why? Because they've got minions. This person likes to chop it up. If it's a sister, it's an older sister, darling dears. Yeah, moon energy, always shady, darling dears. Always shady and lying. This was never your friend. They never treated you like a sister or a brother. Yeah. Page of Pentacles, but you always had opportunities. This is another reason why they're mad. They're mad because you are creating them. Why? Because self-love, and you're dreaming big. You're seeing life as an adventure now that you've got away from their grasp. They're what? They're sucker pads. They're sucker pad hands and their eyes. You're protecting yourself with sage. Yeah, because it's a new life, you darling dears. And they're still stuck with the same life. Yeah, this lying page of a sibling, sister, older sister, darling dears, King of Cups. You mastered your emotions around this person. Empress is Earth and Saturn energy. Page of Cups, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio energy. Mastered your emotions as far as this sister is concerned. You may even be a high priest or priestess, but you are highly intuitive. And as I said, you may even be a tarot reader. Maybe the tarot helped you sort out your feelings around this situation that you had to leave in the dust. Yeah, you're an earth angel. You came with blessings, darling dears. They put you on a difficult journey, but remember, the destination means you're dodo dead. So there's still more things for you to learn, experiences for you to have. It's about you broadening your horizons. Remember, after the next new moon in Sagittarius, you will be making a major decision, right? Keep your options open and don't affiliate yourself with none of these enemies. If you feel like their energy is off, then it's off. Listen to yourself. Keep your independence. Law number 20, don't affiliate yourself to someone who has a gang mentality, darling dears, but wants you to be what? A worshipper at their feet. No, that's so 2017. You managed to, look, this is saying that you mastered the art of timing, darling dears. They ain't seen nothing yet. You are spiritually strong, protected. You are a success. You've got what? What is this? 7, 8, and 9. There's a joke about 7 in it. Why are all the numbers scared of 7? Because 7, 8, 9. How about that? Yeah, continue to plan, darling dears. They're all in their mind about you, this older sister, because they can't see what's exactly going on in your life. What's their next step? This older female relative. What's their next move? Listen, no weapon formed against you shall prosper, darling dears. Doesn't matter what their next move is. God sits high and looks low. Doesn't matter. Bad luck is on them. Right? Bad karma, bad juju. I told you they've got an STD of the body or the mind. If it's an STD, they've got something going on in their genitalia, darling. There's something's going on in the genitalias for this older relative, female relative, that hates your eyelashes. They hate your guts. They hate the way your nostrils flutter when you take in the air, free for all of us on this Malkuf. Yeah, they hate the fact that you're happy. and that you're going to attract what you truly deserve in your life. Well, all they get is bad luck, darling dear. Bad vibes. Well, it's got nothing to do with you, because you wish them well. Just because they're not allowed to eat at your table, or you don't eat at theirs, it doesn't mean that you don't want them to eat, but just not with you, right? You know it's a bad business deal. This person, this sister was never your friend. This relative was never your friend. This female one, she always hated you. Why? Because she saw your light. And your light irritated her demons. It was a long time coming, and you leaving that situation with this narc, darling dears. Always having an issue, talking about you behind your back, possibly to your other siblings or anyone you brought around, darling dears. They had a story and a plan, but you was the earth angel in that situation. Well, not anymore. You're about to teach them a lesson. And what's that? The lesson of knowing that you are what? Khaleesi or Khal. You are he or she who holds the whip, and who holds the whip runs things. Yup. Let them watch, darling dears. All they're going to see is what? Season 2 for you, darling dears. Happiness, your 10th cup, whatever that means for you. You have an older female relative. Or it could be a friend that hates your guts, darling dears. There was never your friend. Toxic to the core. Let's finish out this read. We're going to finish it out with Kipper. Somebody's starting a garden. Are you growing your own vegetables? Why not, eh? I heard a farm. Somebody's been visited a farm recently. What kind of farm? Was it a ganja farm? The Mary James. What kind of farm was it? Right? Finishing out the read. This is the High Honor card. Who God bless, no man can curse. We have a 2 and a 5. Whenever we see a 2 and a 5, somebody in public office, someone who is notable, known by everyone, darling dear, is about to be unmasked. Remember I told you that. Write it down in your almanac, darling dears. And with Mercury retrograde coming, I gave you important dates of the 1% is going to be going through a chaos throughout this Mercury retrograde, the royal family as well. Go and watch my Mercury retrograde video, darling dears, where I give you key dates that you can put down in your almanac. But somebody in high office is about to be unmasked. Yep. Listen, what you're seeking is seeking you, darling dears, and it's got the blessing of the Most High. Let your enemies out enemy themselves, right? If it was a relationship, somebody had they had you in a throuple, a whole throuple. If it was a family, it was a throuple, darling dears, from your mouth to everybody's lips. I mean, to everybody's ears and lips. Yeah, the community. Leave the community where they are, darling dears. God is dealing with them. Community of what? Enemies, enemy in themselves. No rest for the wicked. You have the highest honor card, darling dears. And you also have the sudden wealth. Base of the deck. You're living rent-free in their mind. This rat. On that note, I drops me mic. Toddle over to my Teesprings, my Patreon, or my TikToks, where I also upload videos. If you'd like a personal read, hit me up in the Gmail. All of my intel is in the description box below. And as I always say, don't get smoked. And don't smoke yourself. From the ashes, baby. Namaste. Until we meet again on these tarot streets. Cat, cat. Cat.